The other day I was with my young student and we were trying to work on some backhand volley drops, especially about reducing the size of the swing. I want to show you a couple of things here. And he actually did really well because after quite a few of these, we got his swing to be a lot shorter and a lot more compact. There's a couple of little things, coaching points that I want to unpack here that might help, you guys in the squash community a little bit more. But before I jump in, please do click in the link in the description, grab your free personalized swing audit, and I'll be more than happy to help out. Okay, so we had Stingray here firing off some balls at a relatively high pace into that backhand area. And something you can probably see to start with, again, in regard to maybe the proactivity of myself compared to my student, he's quite flat-footed in this. Again, okay, it was the end of a long session and maybe he's getting a little bit tired, but there was not much lunge into these here. But one of the big things that he is trying to work on is reducing his swing size. And I'm actually really happy to show you this because he definitely reduces his swing size here. There's actually a few early on where he didn't. So I was trying to be fair to him where I wasn't showing him the one where there was a big complex swing. But when you're playing a backhand volley drop, so say someone's whacked across court, not the tightest shot, and you're going to play a backhand volley drop there, one of the key things is reducing the amount of moving parts. So if you're just noticing my position there, I'm taking my racket up. It just goes pretty much straight up to the ceiling. But I like to think about the side of the racket pushing towards the side wall. So if I can just get that left-hand edge of the racket towards the side wall, that's all I really need to do. If I want to reduce my moving parts, I think that's a real key element. The swing will always break at a certain point, but it's a minimal break. Look how small that position 2 is. I talk a lot about if we're trying to get power. Position 1, position 2 goes, up and down to the hip area, gets horizontal, and then goes into position 3, which is the contact point. When we're looking to play a volley drop, backhand, forehand, position 1, look how simple position 2 is there. It doesn't even really go into the full horizontal, but it's trying to reduce the moving parts because look at that. From there to there, that's the simplicity. Look at my shoot on the left there. He doesn't do a bad job, and I'll deconstruct his swing in a second. But just for the sake of a benchmark, we're just looking here for now. Position 1, moving across there, going in with my left leg open stance because it's a little bit more efficient. I can push forward. If I was to throw my right leg round and get more traditional, which isn't a bad thing at certain times, everything just gets turned away from the ball. My racket, my swing get a little bit further away from the ball, and it just adds a bit of complex moving parts. Again, like I said, if someone's whacked across court and you've seen it, it's the simplicity of this. Decent reaching, decent space. I might just be a bit close to that, but I'm balanced. Notice my left hand, nice and up, nice and steady. Chest, shoulders, head, all in a really solid position. Not a bad lunge, getting in there, good spacing. Last thing on my side before we come back to my student, notice the follow through. It's a very minimal follow through. It's just more of a direction. I'm going right. I'm just using the pace in the ball to direct it a few inches above the tin, ideally not clipping the side wall. I think I do okay here. Yeah, but sneaky, just get close to that side wall. I do, it's a great result that, again, if I'm being more sensible, I might be an inch further to the right to make sure I don't even get close to that side wall. That's how I'm looking to play it. You're not going to be getting crazy side on. There's enough of a side on position. Okay, so going to my student on the right here, let's see if I can get at the same contact point because I think it's always a nice reference here. So again, like I said, I think he's done really well here. Actually, need to untangle something here. There it is. And is his one. There it is. Right. Let me tether that together. So again, first thing I've said is maybe the passivity of his footwork. He's a little bit too casual, a bit too chilled. Even the way he's watching, I'd like to see him being a little bit more bouncy, getting ready for it. Whereas there, he's almost too close. He actually moves before the ball's even gone. So I know, he would work with the ball machine here. So the ball coming out at different paces and times is something that, people get used to. But again, he's gone too early, so he's automatically too close. But one of the key things that we're working on, where the camera is positioned, you can see the blade of his racket, and his strings are looking at that side wall there. In simple terms, his grip is way, way too open. And what it's doing, it's just adding in some complex parts. So the side he's trying to hit with, and you can just see there, the biggest thing I'm working on, even though he's reduced the swing in his moving parts, look at that wobble in the wrist. There's that little twiddle starting to happen over there. It's not as solid as I would like to see it. Going across to mine, you see that wrist position, solid, no twiddle, nice and strong there. And again, this twiddle happens for 2 reasons: the bigness of the swing and the complex moving parts and the spacing. This one's done more for spacing because he's a bit closer. He's creating a bit of space, but also the mechanics of a swing, that position I said there where his blade is looking at the camera, there's a lot that has to happen from there. You know, like look at that now, like where he's gone. This is quite a nice little graphic. Like look at the tip of his racket there compared to the tip of my racket. Look how much further it is away from his body, whereas mine, it's like, it's right there. It's kind of hovering, you know, almost down my spine where that racket is. So again, this is the slightly bigger swing where he's taken it away there a little bit too much. And then it has to come back in with too much complexity. And he does pretty well. He puts the ball in a nice place, lands it on the floorboards, you know, but you could just see he doesn't feel like he has as much control over that as I do on mine. So again, it's starting with maybe the slight adjustment within the grip there, making sure that that racket, let me just see if I can kind of find my position there. You can see where my strings are looking a little bit more to the front wall. And like I said a little bit earlier, at a certain point, I really like that idea where the blade, that part of the blade is looking at that side wall. I call it the lollipop lady. It's maybe a bit of a simple, silly analogy, but I'm holding up a lollipop, you know, not holding up a lollipop, you know, but that's like a stop sign, letting those kids cross the street. And for me there, that's the simplicity. When you're looking and hunting the volley, I think you want to hold up your stop sign. It's like, right, there it is. There's my big stop sign, you know, nice big red stop sign there. Right, that's what I want to do. If the racket's in this position and there's too much complexity and too much movement there, I just think it adds, again, the complexity we don't need. So hopefully that's helping you a little bit. Thinking about your volley drop, especially off a cross court on the backhand. The big message hopefully you're getting, the reduction of moving parts, the simplicity of it, giving enough space, lunging into it. As I'm making contact with the ball, nice full racket face. You can just see I'm starting to lean in there a little bit compared to my student who's standing up and even maybe leaning back. Making sure you're getting that good lunge in. Again, not much lunge going in there. And then when I'm finishing, I'm just pushing and nudging the ball to an air. I'm not stopping my follow through, but I'm not expressing it. I'm not letting it go. I'm using the pace in the ball to put the ball in a simple area back onto the front wall, reinforcing using my left hand for a bit of balance there, trying to hit the floorboards, talking about floorboard squash, floorboards before the sidewall. You know, one of the biggest crimes in squash is someone gives you a cross court and you just go front wall, side wall, and the ball pops out again. They'll just run in there. They'll just sprint in there, have all these options and just basically smash it. And you're in a whole bunch of trouble. So yeah, make sure you can use some floorboard squash. Keep it simple, everyone, and enjoy hunting and looking for those volleys. And while you're here, please go click on the link in the description. Check out all the other videos in the YouTube channel and have a little look at the squash playbook. Some good resources all there for the squash community to go have a look at. Until the next video, take care, everyone.